Hey, what's going on, New World News? It's going to be the last video I record today. I'm going to put as many up on Monday the 13th as I can, and also Tuesday the 14th of June 2022. But have you guys been following this PGA and Middle Eastern golf tour controversy where basically Phil Mickelson got it started about a month ago or so. Anyways, it's called the LIV, like the Live or L4 tournament, golf tournament being hosted out in Saudi Arabia and Dubai in the Middle East, and sponsored by that country's government and their state. And Phil Mickelson, I guess, was going to go play on this and support it and be a part of it. And he got a lot of backlash because, as you know, the media guy, the paper guy, writer guy, Jamal Khashoggi, about a year and a half ago was assassinated inside of an office by Saudi Arabian officials or people they had hired or the government had put out to assassinate him because he wrote negative things about the government and about things, like critical things. So if I came on here and said critical things about Joe Biden, I live in America. No one's going to assassinate me by saying, I think Joe Biden sucks. I think he's the worst president. I think he's responsible for all this crap. If I say that, or if I said it about Donald Trump or whatever, which everyone does, no one's going to assassinate us. But in that country, it's possible. And it happened to this writer, Jamal Khashoggi. And so everyone is saying Phil Mickelson or any of the pros from the PGA Tour to go over there and play in this tournament or to support them or be on this tour and play in lots of events are supporting a government, state, and a country that is pro human rights violations and assassinations and all this stuff. And I gotta admit, they kind of got a point. Like, the government's up to no good, and yet you're going to go play in a golf tournament and be a part of their tour that they're supporting. So you're basically supporting them. You're helping them make money. It's kind of a bad thing, right? It's a bad look. So since that happened just this past week, I believe 16 or 17 additional including Sergio Garcia, PGA players have been suspended from the PGA Tour. Suspended from the tour that made them all this money and famous because they agreed to go be a part of this Middle Eastern tournament and tour. So I want to take you over and look at the story, and then what do you think? You think these guys should play on this tournament in the Middle East? You think they should boycott it? You think they should just leave it alone, stick to the PGA and do what they do best? Or you think it's no big deal? Obviously, they went over there, I would imagine, because there's a lot of money, and they're probably getting paid very, very well to do it. And for some people, that's the money it is what it is. They don't care what the government's up to. I would say a lot of people come over and play in our tournaments from out of country, Japan, Korea, what have you, and they probably don't agree with a lot of the politics that go on here, which is fine. But when we start talking about killing people and assassinations and human rights violations, that's something that doesn't happen in this country. At least it's not allowed. But over there, it's actively encouraged and actively played out. So you have to walk a very, very fine line, but when it gets to that point, you got to decide where your morals are and where your money stops and starts and all that sort of good stuff. Anyways, let's go take a look at the story, and then you guys can comment below whether you think they should play on it, they shouldn't, and whether they should have been suspended, and if you agree with that or not. All right, from ESPN, the PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan says the golfers he suspended for the Live Golf affiliation need us. This is written by Mark Schalabach, the ESPN senior writer, and this is the first interview that Jay Monahan gave after suspending 17 players for competing in the rival Live Golf Invitational Series. So 6-time major champion Phil Mickelson, 2-time major winner Dustin Johnson, longtime PGA Tour members Sergio Garcia, Lee Westwood, Louis Oosthuizen, and Kevin Na are among those who are now ineligible to compete in tour events after playing in the inaugural LIV golf tournament in London this past week. It's been an unfortunate week that was created by some unfortunate decisions, those decisions being players choosing to violate our tournament regulations. It's my job to protect, defend, and celebrate our loyal PGA Tour members, our partners, and our fans. That's exactly what I did, and I don't think it was a surprise to anyone, given how clear I had been about how we were going to handle the situation. Rory Mcilroy, who won the Canadian Open by 2 shots over Tony Finau, couldn't help but take a subtle jab at Live Golf CEO Greg Norman in a news conference on Sunday. Is McIlroy's 21st PGA Tour victory and one more than Norman. I think going up against the best and beating the best also always makes it special. And then I alluded to it, I had extra motivation of what's going on across the pond. The guy that's spearheading that tour has 20 wins on the PGA Tour, and I was tied with him, and I wanted to get one ahead of him, and I did. So it was really cool for me, just a little sense of pride on that one. The next Live Golf tournament will be played in the United States at Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club in Portland, Oregon, June 30th to July 2nd. Live Golf announced over the weekend that it added former U.S. Open champion Bryson DeChambeau, former Masters winners Patrick Reed and Pat Perez to its roster, so they are scheduled to compete in Portland. Monahan said players who compete in future live golf events will also face the same punishment as the same players who were suspended last week. When Monahan asked why the players couldn't compete on both the PGA and live golf circuit, he didn't back down from his previous position that players had to choose one tour or the other. Why do they need us so badly? Because those players have chosen to sign multi-year lucrative contracts to play in a series of expedition matches against the same players over and over again. You look at that versus what we see here today, and that's why they need us so badly. You've got true peer competition. The best players in the world are here at the RBC Canadian Open with millions of fans watching, and in this game, it's true and peer competition that creates the profile and the presence of the world's greatest players. That's why they need us. Monahan also was asked about players being criticized for competing in a circuit that is financed by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. Survivors and family members of the victims of terrorist attacks of September 11th have been critical of players downplaying the Saudi Arabian monarchy's history of civil rights violations, and they go on to talk about that. And so that's the story there. Jay Monahan definitely suspending anybody else who plays on it, and I think he'll stick to it. So what do you think? Should they be allowed to play in both? Should they not be playing? Do you support them? Do you not? Do you think this is the right play? And what happens going forward? I'll look for that down in the comment section. As always, please use it. It belongs to you, and I love to read what you have to say. And with that, I'll leave you to it. Please hit the like button, turn that thumb blue, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. Until next time, I'll see everyone then.